All right, I'm back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, March 4th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So markets here, having a little bit of a rally. So the morning video I did this morning, short, I was talking about how, we might have a little pullback into 5115, 5100, but markets held up today, and we got a little pop here in the afternoon, believe it or not. And the level I gave out, 5150, 5160, we're kind of close to that. We're actually closed it on 5150 right now. High of the day, 5149. That should hold here into the end of the day. I don't think we're going through that, but definitely a little surprised. I thought we would. Lately, it's been Thursday, Friday pump, Monday, Tuesday, kind of Wednesday, kind of just meandering back down, not necessarily selling, but just kind of like last week. Here's Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's kind of a nice little slide back and doing some backing and filling, but not so much today. It started off like that, then we got a little bit higher lows here, and then a big pop here in the afternoon. Usual suspects: Nvidia up 6% for a $2 trillion company. 6%. Meta is down on the day, but you got Amazon flat, Microsoft flat. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Google down 2.5, was down 3.5 at one point. Tesla down 6.5, was down about 8 at one point. Apple down 2.5, was down 3.5 at one point. If you had Tesla down 6-7%, Apple and Google down 3 to 3.33, 6 months ago, a year ago, you'd be like, oh, the NASDAQ 100 is down like 1.5% of the day. And that has not been the case. Nvidia is just that powerful right now. And again, it's not like Microsoft's doing anything. Microsoft is flat. Meta is flat. Amazon is up 7 basis points. Yeah, you've got Broadcom and AMD higher, but that's it. Right, looking at, let me just throw the watch list on right there. Like, ASML up. Costco. These are NASDAQ 100 names, but look at those. Look at that: Apple, Google, Meta, Tesla, Netflix even down. So just an amazing amount of power. And Nvidia wasn't even up 6% all day. It was up about 3.5% all day long until kind of the lunch hour. We really started to float up, and still the markets were just basically flat to negative. That's really it. So pretty amazing stuff here. Obviously, SMCI still higher. A little bit of shadiness going on last Friday. Like how they waited till like after hours, like 5 o'clock. The futures aren't even open to announce that. But that getting a big pop. You got ARM holding up still. That's just kind of consolidating. But like I said, Broadcom, AMD, Qualcomm, Intel, all the usual suspects, the semis, are leading the charge, and they have been for a while. You guys know I've always looked to the semis to be leading indicators, but right now they're not just leading indicators; they're really front and center. They are the indicators for this market. They're a good signal of risk on, and they are a signal of the market strength overall. One thing I do find interesting is last week we had Waller talking about. Essentially, he hinted at an operation twist, which should push the short end back down. I think here's my theory: once the semis top out, or they will eventually, right? Once they top out, I think the sectors that stand to benefit the most are small caps, growth, and other areas that haven't run as well. Again, we've been looking at biotech a little bit more closely recently. There's the XBI. Some of you guys follow the IBB, same kind of deal. Even like retail, XRT is starting to catch up. But again, I think that this could be a rotation here, or there could be a rotation coming soon. If that's true, again, what stands to benefit the most, right? Small caps. Well, if money's going to go rotate into that, it's got to rotate out of somewhere. And what sectors already run to the absolute, it's run to the pedals of the metal, right? I don't know how much farther it can run, right? It would be the semis, and might make sense if that happens. So anyway, just a theory there. But right now, again, bottom line is with the market, same thing as I said on Friday. Buy the dip bias until support goes. Right now, for me, that's going to be, I'm just going to say 50.38 here. And then, of course, you guys know those lower levels I've been talking about, 49.46, 49.20. But those are over 100 points away now. So we got a long ways to go before we can get there. We do have this upsloping trend line here. Tight rising wedge. I'm still going to call it a rising wedge because we only violated it once. And it's still kind of respecting that area. I mean, look at where we went last week. That was the range last week, high to low. And we're ping-ponging inside of that. Where does this start to come to a head? Well, we can, let's just play with it here. Because I already know where it's probably going to come to a head, and it's not a coincidence. But there we go. We can just extend these out. You see that vertical red line on my chart there? Yeah, you know what that is, right? That's OPEX for the month of March. So not much room. It'd be interesting if we tighten up into that. That would be wild. So we'll keep an eye on it. But it is getting tight up here. It is definitely getting tight up here. But until support is broken, or if you break this wedge on high volume, meaning 100 million shares or more on the SPY, then I would start to look at a possible bear play, or at least entertain the bear side, right? It's not that we would just immediately jump short because of that, but that's what we would look for. Speaking of some weak stocks, if I am going to play bear, or if we're scouting for possible bear reversals, I think Google, Apple, and maybe even Tesla. Well, I don't know about Tesla because it's already been beaten down so much, but definitely Google and Apple catch my eye. Apple trading below the 200 moving average now for the first time since, basically the October lows. I mean, give or take the first, that move down in January, we had that thrust, a little skip below it for a day or two here, but it's the first time it's really, skipped below it in October, but this is the first time we've been decisively below it, really since, right after the October lows. Google here testing the 200. This should get a bounce here, but I've been telling you guys I don't like this. Big rising wedge here, broke down, and then you've got a head and shoulder like inside of that right there. And let's just draw that out for fun. Again, this could fail still. There's nothing to say it can't fail, but that would take you down to this pivot low at 120. I would like that as support for sure. But again, my point is, if we do enter some type of bear phase, correction phase, might want to look to pick on these guys. They're already showing weakness. Another thing I'm going to watch for too is when these guys bounce, again, look at, they're fading Tesla, they're fading Apple, they're fading Google. This is obvious stuff. This is obvious distribution. And what are they using to prop the market up? They're using Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, and Nvidia. So it's the Mag 4, then you have the semis. When those stocks bounce, do they distribute these guys? I'm going to be on watch for that as well, because that could tell us that we're getting closer to a corrective period. So that's kind of what's on tap right now. Other things that we can talk about, we'll talk about gold in a minute. We'll talk about Bitcoin. Let's get to the levels really quickly. So again, next level is 5160. That's just an intraday level, nothing more than that. And then 5200 is really the last next area here. QQQ 450. We'll give it the upside bias to there. IWM, still looking for about 210. So that's just, again, these are just quick levels here of resistance that we could expect price to get to. It is, IWM is backing off today, but it's been green all day though, unlike the rest of the market. Dow down 50 cents here via the diamond. This pattern is starting to shape up nicely though. So we're above the moving average, pop, little pullback and little consolidation, nothing wrong here. And it still wants to go to 395. Semiconductors here continuing higher. I'm going to key off the SOX. Actually, we're through my level. I talked about 5K on the SOX. I don't really have anything right now past that. I will say we do have a 3-bar surge, so we might pull back. Tomorrow might be a pause day. When you have 3 wide range candles in a row like that, sometimes you can get a pullback or a pause session. Lord knows they need to pull back and consolidate, but semiconductors still showing leadership, and I'm not going to be bearish as long as that is the case. IGV actually down today, so a little bit on the weaker side, but it's not down much, and again, that can still make a run at double top if it wants to. Dow Transport's holding up as well, though they are dipping down a little bit here in the afternoon. Looks like the whole market, whole market coming in a little bit here. Again, I figured 5150 would be the top for today, but pattern-wise, not terrible on the daily and not terrible on the weekly either for the DJT. So this is a sector I would look for also for rotation. XHB continuing higher. That I told you guys I'd come up with a level for this. 105, it already got hit today, and the next one's 108. just say 108.20. So that would be the next level here. These are just minor like mathematical levels. That's it. So they're not a short. But yeah, I mean, this is overbought for sure. But again, it can still go higher, and this has just been a powerhouse sector. VNQ, that's continuing up again. Another sector that could see some rotation. Again, I've been telling you, if this firms up, which it's doing, it's actually getting kind of attractive. I love that weekly test candle, and I like how it's curling back up. Like that little bull flag, kind of inside bar type pattern there. Nice little gap down, and then a surge up. Love that, and that's following through. So right now, this will probably have to, you got a little resistance at 88, 89 and a quarter, and then 90, but this is starting to firm up, and I think VNQ is a good rotation sector. Yes, I know commercial real estate this, commercial real estate that, but you're not sneaking up on anybody, and I think the chart is fine. So see the chart breakdown, I'll get bearish on it. XLF still holding up. That can still go to 41 in the near term. KRE was green all day, but came in pretty sharply. So down 2 cents. Again, I still don't like what the regionals are doing here. This is still one of the weaker sectors in the entire market. We're going to have another bank collapse when BTFP runs out and reverse repo runs out. I don't know. I mean, if anything, history tells us that's just bullish for the market, because it just forces the Fed into doing more, more QE that they won't call QE, or they just won't talk about it at all. KBE up 6 cents. Let's not make a ton of that. It did have a lot of volume though. So I know that there was interesting, a lot of volume there. I wonder if there's some forced swaps or something going on. I know that, yeah, KRE not seeing the same thing. So it didn't really seem to affect price though, but maybe it's swaps. Anyway, broker dealers here, new all-time highs there. We'll just say that can go to 6. Oil holding up, but it is backing off, so down 1.5. It's kind of just retesting the 79 area. I don't really see any problems with it right now. I'm still giving this the upside bias to 81.50, 82, and then kind of into the mid 80s after that. But right now it's just backing off here. And here's another thing that's interesting, right? Gold is really ripping higher. Oil's not. Talk about gold in a second, but oil's not really doing that. But it's still fine. Just backing off a little bit. XLE, we knew this was going to be a resistance. We didn't. No, we did close above 87.11 by 3 pennies, but it's backing off here again. There's nothing wrong with it. It can just consolidate and go higher. Same thing with XOP and OIH at this point. There's no problems with either of these. Uranium here, so CCJ backing off of the 20-day moving average. So still struggling with that 42 handle. I'm not so sure it even gets up to 45. That's just a level. If it starts to head down, you get the 200 MA, and then about 37.50 is the next level there. URNM, again, got saved on the weekly. So again, seeing sector rotation, which is good. Short term, again, 49 to 50 is your little resistance there, which it is backing off of. And then 52.50 is your next level. If we start to back off, I'd expect, to head down towards that 200 moving average. There's a lot of support there with this base here as well. Nat gas did get a bid up 5.2. I guess EQT finally came to their senses, and they said they're going to scale back production. They previously had over 200% increase in rigs year over year, which is pretty incredible considering the price of nat gas is at $1.50. I don't know, I guess the shareholders finally freaked out on them. But it did get up close to that 2 handle. I'm still thinking it wants 210. Maybe 225, but nice day there. And again, you got the higher lows to work off of and higher highs now. So the chart is in a little bit better shape here. Dollar index really not doing a whole lot, down 4 pennies. So that's nothing to write home about. Weekly is still fine on this. Again, 103.50 below that would be a sign of weakness here in the near term, which is strange because, again, if we look at gold, this is really ripping higher. And if we look at, I think I've skipped interest rates here, but you can see the 10-year, I can't believe I forgot that. The 10-year here is green today, as is the 30-year and the 5s. So if we look at the yield curve, this is 210. Yeah, so 210 is actually red today. 3-month, 10 years, flat to positive, 10s and 30s, 5s and 30s backing off. So what's interesting is gold is pumping, but the 2-year yield is gaining more, and yields are up in general. It's just a very strange dynamic because we're not seeing bonds really rally with gold. So if the Fed's going to do Operation Twist, if the Fed is going to ease policy, yields should be coming down very sharply, and they should be coming down very sharply at the short end. It's not really happening. And the dollar is only down 4 or 5 cents. So interesting to see yields holding up with gold. I do think, like I've been saying, that gold and yields will eventually go up together. I don't know if this is the start of that. I don't think it is. But gold having a really big day up 1.5. This is the star of the day here. This should go up and test double top probably tomorrow. I think you'll get a 3-bar surge. You got volume behind it. So it should try to make a new all-time high tomorrow, I would think. Probably pull back or pause after that. Is this on breakout? I don't know. I really don't know. So don't ask me. I still have my skepticism about it. GDX near 52-week lows. Yes, it's off the lows, but this should be leading, right? Look at last year. Higher lows, right? In September to November, whereas gold had like this pseudo triple bottom thing, and it made a lower low right here. GDX should be leading, and it's not. Dollar should be selling off very sharply. It's not. Yields should be normal. Yield curve should be normalizing. It's not. So, at the same time, I don't want to like make too much out of it and then say like, oh, well, you should sell gold here. I'm not saying that because at the end of the day, you got to take every chart at its own merit to an extent. But it is a little suspicious that we're not seeing that confirming move from bonds. It's specifically the yield curve. But right now, gold's holding up. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. Daily chart bullish, weekly chart bullish, monthly chart bullish. Yeah, time frame continuity. But we'll see. Maybe they come in one more time. They whack it down. I can't rule it out. But gold does look pretty good. Silver still looks pretty good here as well. 24.50. We'll say go give it to upside bias to shy of 25 because you've got volume coming in. And it's wedged up pretty nicely. It's acting well. Again, I still like platinum and palladium. I mean, if there's anything I'm going to buy here, it's like look at how much cheaper these are than gold, which I have been accumulating these, obviously. But we'll see. Gold's acting well. Copper also acting well. It did back off of this trend line though, but you have a higher low now to work off of. So we'll see what it does here. If it rolls back over, we're looking for like 372, 375. If it pushes through this trend line, 395 to $4 will be your next levels there. All right, lastly, crypto still holding up. So Bitcoin 67.6, actually making new highs as we speak as I do this. Yeah, right into new highs now. This will go to 2 all-time highs. I've been clear about that. I do think that, may even be as soon as tomorrow. It's only 2,000 away. So there's nothing really saying it can't do that. My question is, does it back off from there? I mean, it is a big time double top. It's starting to get a little overbought. The weekly is starting to get a little overbought. We did consolidate for 9 weeks though. So you're going to expect a big move. It is going to double top here. I would not short it. I'm still pretty bullish on it. That doesn't mean you can't have local highs or backing and filling, but it's very strong. ETH is very strong too at 36. So now above this pivot here. Again, could this back off here? Certainly. Look at the weekly, right? We are piercing that level. That's a big weekly level with a red bar above it. A lot of supply, a lot of people bought up here on this dip thinking, oh, we're just going to dip and then go up to 5,000. They're stuck. So some of those people will turn into sellers. That may be a headwind. But overall, I don't really see any problems. And you see the alts running. Look at Doge up, 100% here. Polkadot, I've talked about this one. This one's been acting well. The ones I've got here, Solana, taking a little bit of a break, but it broke out late last week. Cardano, new highs. Has a little resistance at 80, but that can go to $1, $1.25. Another one I like is Matic. Been pretty open about that. That one's breaking out to new highs here. So again, you're seeing the alts run. When Bitcoin backs off, the alts are acting well, and that's the sign of healthy rotation inside of the sector. So we'll see. It's a little overbought here, but I know that from experience that Bitcoin, when it gets overbought, it gets more overbought. It tends to do that. So anyway, markets here, yeah, backing off a little bit here as we get towards the end of the day. Again, we'll say 5160 for tomorrow. Macro level is at 5200. We do have Powell on Wednesday in front of Congress, as well as JOLTS, ADP, and then we have NFP on Friday. So again, that's kind of why I thought the market would be on the quieter side today. But again, you show the same hand several weeks in a row. Sometimes they got to flip the script a little bit, and I think that's kind of what happened here. But again, watch this little wedge here. And again, bottom line, until support breaks, give the market the upside bias, and that buy the dip bias should stay in the marketplace here. So anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I will talk to you guys all tomorrow.